Tampa is a great park, but like every amusement park out there, it does have plenty of flaws. And in this video, I'm going to point out a bunch of Busch Gardens Tampa's flaws from the rides to the park operations. If you're interested, stay tuned. Let me make this clear. Busch Gardens Tampa has an amazing and very well-rounded coaster lineup, but there are a few changes I would make to their coaster lineup to make it even better. The first change is coming to Cheetah Hunt, which I would just remove all of the trains and replace them with the new generation Intamin trains that you'll see on rides like Velocicoaster and Pantheon, which these trains would definitely make the ride a lot more comfortable. They would drastically increase dispatch times, because if you're unfamiliar, Cheetah Hunt typically gets the longest wait at Busch Gardens Tampa, averaging around an hour to an hour and a half, which is quite long. The other thing that these trains would provide, just more ability to experience the ride's forces. As Cheetah Hunt, even though being a family coaster, it still provides some pretty good airtime, hang time, and laterals, which these trains would definitely allow you to experience those forces a lot better. The other major change I'll be making is to Tigris, where I will be making two changes. The first change will be give it all new trains and remove the comfort collars. This would definitely increase dispatch times, as the comfort collars do slow down the dispatches a lot, as they are pretty complicated to take on and off. And also, the other change I would make would also increase capacity a lot, and that would be to install a turntable on the ride station so Tigris can run with two trains instead of the only one train it does now. Now, the other change I would make to Busch Gardens coaster lineup involves just a total revamp of an already existing area, and that being Pantopia. Now, the changes I would make to give Pantopia a total revamp is to scrap SandSerpent and Scorpion and replace them with a much larger and just better family coaster in general. And then the other changes I would make general to Pantopia is just to make it have not necessarily a similar atmosphere to the rest of the park, because I know they wanted something that feels different, but just give it more atmosphere, more theming, and just make it feel cohesive compared to the rest of the park. Because Busch Gardens Tampa has some great landscaping and atmosphere, which you do get in Pantopia, but it's not as much as the rest of the park. So those are the changes I would make to Busch Gardens coaster lineup to make it truly elite. Another major change I would make to Busch Gardens Tampa is just do a complete overhaul of the loose article policy. And I would take this straight from Universal and Velocicoaster in particular, and you would have mandatory lockers that are free, and you will use your park ticket to open them. And then also, those lockers will be double-sided, so you will pick up your items on the other side once you exit the ride. And then these lockers will also be placed right at the end of the queue line, so you can have your phones and other small items on you while you wait for the ride. And then once you get to about 5 minutes before the station, then you'll have to put your items in a locker, and then they'll be safely in there, secure while you're riding. Then you can just pick them up after your ride. The reason I would do this is just to simplify the whole loose article policy, because Busch Gardens loose article policy is kind of a mess, because you have rides like Cheetah Hunt, SheiKra, Montu, Kumba, and Tigris that don't let anything on the ride platform other than small items. Well, at least for Cheetah Hunt, you do have bins off to the side for small items, but the others don't. So your only option is to either pay for a locker or leave your items with a non-rider, which typically isn't a problem, but I can see that being a big problem for plenty of people. So those are the changes I would make to Busch Gardens Tampa's loose article policy to just make everybody have a better day at the park. Get it this far in the video, I just want to thank you for watching. Also remember to like this video and share this video with anybody you know who will be visiting Busch Gardens Tampa soon. Also check the video in the end screen above, and also subscribe to Southeastern Thrills, and peace.